your hands if you have ever felt insecure. Everyone in this room is different. The people to your left, right, front, back. Everyone is different. There's less than a 1 in a trillion chance that you'd ever find yourself your doppelganger. That's because everyone has differences in blood, color, height, weight, shape, etc. But what happens if there's a flaw in a person, such as a special feature that others don't have? This is Barb. What's that, Barb? Barb says, "Oh yeah, people with flaws and special features are different. They're only known for their differences." No, Bob. Approximately 386 million different people were able to be successful. And I, too, am different. Good afternoon. My name is Alanna Winarta. I was born with a small flaw on my face that occurred at birth called a birthmark. I, Alanna, 14 years old and once very shy, am here to do what I fear the most, to tell others a story. This is me. I have a birthmark on my left cheek. As the name describes, I was born with this. To be specific, my birthmark is called a cafe au lait spot. And they had no right making this thing sound that fancy. Birthmarks occur when there's an increase in the number of skin cells called the melanocytes, which then forms a protective layer that darkens the skin called the melanin. Birthmarks occur in 10% of our population at birth. Surprisingly, birthmarks can also be inherited from our previous families. People have many interpretations of what my birthmark looks like. Some people think it looks like a paw and an upside-down heart. Even the aftermath of a burnt in a fire face. All I am thinking about right now is, wow, kids are creative. Let's take a trip deeper down memory lane. Imagine this. It's my first day of grade 1. Everyone's excited. New school, new friends, and a door filled with new opportunities. I walk into class and I receive a "Hi, what's your name?" Or, "Hey, do you know that one movie with the talking mouse and stuff?" "Oh my gosh, you do? Let's be best friends." I'm joking. That was not how they greeted me. What I got were, "What's that on your face?" And, "Did a lion scratch your face? That's really cool." The worst part was, I couldn't decide whether that was a compliment or an insult. Surprisingly, insults didn't only come from just my peers, but even grown adults. Ever since the pandemic, we were all required to wear a mask. Because of that, I got used to wear a mask. Then, I started to grow more comfortable with it on. On the other hand, the weather in Indonesia is quite hot, so when it gets pretty humid, I prefer to take my mask off, revealing my entire face. When people see my face, sometimes they give impressions or questions. To be honest, I don't mind if people ask about my birthmark, but the way they put it into words is quite uncomfortable to hear. Now, imagine a curious stranger seeing my birthmark for the first time. Every time young Alanna stepped foot out of her house, everyone around her would always give her an attitude. Everyone who walked past her would somehow find a way to absolutely bash her about her birthmark. Kids ranging from kindergarteners to grade 4s would look at her in absolute disgust. Sorry, words aren't enough. See what I mean? I thought I was the only one feeling this way. Having a birthmark distinguishes me. and I don't feel that it has ever held me back. This quote itself is very powerful. It reveals a brave story and strength to keep doing things without being affected by the harsh things around her. This quote is created by a woman who talks about her experiences with the birthmark, similar to mine. So, who is she? This is Cassandra Nod. She was born with a birthmark, similar to mine. It took all of her life to accept how she was and embrace her natural beauty. She was bombarded with questions all her childhood, making her consider removing it. Minutes before her doctor's appointment, she still couldn't decide whether removing it was the best option for her. Eventually, she chose not to remove it. And little did she know that that decision was a big help for her future. Now, Cassandra Nod is a professional dancer and actor. She also said that along her journey, she managed to stand out and become easily remembered everywhere and during her journey thanks to her birthmark. Unfortunately, I wasn't as confident as Cassandra Nod when I was 9. Because of all of the experiences my birthmark gave me, I grew to be insecure in the past. I grew to think about removing my birthmark when I was 9, just like Cassandra Nod. But as my surroundings started getting kinder to me, they stopped making fun of me. Because of that, I've slowly forgotten about my insecurity. Now, I've grown to love how I am as a person with this birthmark. I think that my birthmark is special. It is a huge part of me that I'll never get rid of and never want to cover. And here I am today, having the time of my life, insecure-free, and making a difference by telling this story. To be honest, I think my surroundings played a huge role in my mindset as well. My surroundings changed my perspective about my birthmark. As my surroundings started to become more mature, I felt more accepted and fit into the community. Here's how you, too, can overcome insecurities. We have to challenge it like a battle between you and the demons in your mind. Number 1, confront your feelings. Bottling up your feelings is terrible for you. Locking up your anger and anxiety will jungle up the functions in your stress hormones called the cortisol. You can always express your feelings towards the people you love, like your family or friends, or an expert, such as a therapist. If you can't do any of those, there is always another solution. Number 2, embrace yourself as you are. Like I said, everyone is different, but it doesn't mean you're worth less than another. Everyone is good in their own ways, so you'll have to accept it and embrace it. Number 3, stop comparing yourself. You can start embracing yourself by stop comparing yourself to others. Number 4, let go of people and situations that fuel your insecurities. You have the right to choose your surroundings. You will find a more positive person or place. Do not stay in a toxic environment that encourages your insecurities. You have to take care of yourself, even if others won't. Be around others who actually care for you, and not those who bring you down. You've got to know your own worth, regardless whether people see it or not. You should never get influenced by others. Presenting the speech made me realize that if we didn't have confidence, we wouldn't be able to reach our full potential in life. We would be consumed by our own insecurities if we don't overcome them. The surrounding communities affect us widely, but with positivity, people will feel more welcomed in the community they're in. Although my community wasn't that nice towards me, I have a great and supportive family by my side. Again, everyone is different. But just because a person looks different doesn't mean they should be allowed to be treated differently. Everyone should have the same rights and shouldn't ever feel like their own community is pushing them down and judging them. Imagine if I hadn't stayed calm when the strangers gave me judgmental stares when they passed by me. My mom once said, if God gave us something that's different from others, God also gave us something in exchange, so we'll have to accept it. To be happy in this life, you have to make your glass half full, not half empty. Thank you for listening.